when you're on social media, if you scroll and you see an ad, once you see the label that says sponsored, you just scroll it away, right? You don't even bother to look at it. So like that's the biggest characteristic of ads. So in order for you, like if you really, really want people to watch your ads, you need to create a content that's worth watching, even though it's an ad, even though they know it's an ad. Hey guys, welcome to Business Chef Podcast, where we talk about how to make content, personal brand, and monetize your skills online other than working in the kitchen, so that you can have multiple income sources to feed your family, live better life, and most importantly, love yourself as a chef. I'm on my journey building $1 million empire, documenting my process, and I'm sharing with all of you. So please share and enjoy. Like this is why a lot of restaurants out there, they're doing this social media, Google, Instagram, TikTok, and a lot of them, they say it doesn't really work. There's a reason why. And I kind of get it sometimes, because for restaurant business specifically, their main customer acquisition channel is not social media. So that's why compared to other industries, like other agencies, online businesses, e-commerce, the actions that you put, the inputs that you put into social media is not going to bring as much results as you expect for restaurant business compared to other industries. So I've been doing this for a while. I've been creating thousands of contents for restaurants past couple of years, and like these are the things I realized. There is a clear reason why restaurant marketing that they don't work. A lot of restaurant owners, they try to participate in Instagram, TikTok. They just spend a couple $100s and they just don't see any results, and they just start quitting. Today I want to point out one of the biggest mistakes that restaurant owners make when it comes to approaching social media, and I want to give you guys some also like case studies of my previous clients that actually worked really well and who were just crushing their social media game, right? So the first biggest mistake that restaurant owners make when it comes to approaching social media is that they try to hire videographers or they try to hire photographers and they pay them so much money. Like I get it. A lot of freelancers nowadays, because I don't want to talk about all these camera things, but and because I'm into camera, just try to give you a brief explanation about this camera industry. It's been 4 or 5 years since this whole camera industry changed. So before, those professional cameras were only accessible by professionals. But after Sony released, I think it was from A7 Mark III. So that was the point where high-end premium cameras can be accessed by everyone in this world. So they started releasing cameras that have high-end features with only like a couple $1,000. So before it was like $10,000. Now they dropped the price for like $2,000. So that's after they started doing it, all these premium professional cameras were able to be accessed by hobbyists and even by just regular consumers. So from that point, creating professional content is not for professionals anymore. A lot of regular people out there, they started creating professional content. So from that point, a lot of freelancers, they started charging like $500, like a couple $100s, like even $1,000, like even $5,000 plus on like single project. I'm sure as a restaurant owner that you have experienced this a lot of times. Like you try to hire like photographers, videographers, and they charge you like so much money. Your budget is like at $500. What they charge you is like a couple $1,000s. And the reason why I understand is because I was in their shoes. Like I tried to charge like a couple $1,000s for a project to restaurant owners or even like other businesses, which I realized that a lot of restaurant owners don't really have the budget to spend on content. So like that's when I started to deep dive about like restaurant marketing and creating content for restaurants. And then this is what I want to say. Just creating better quality content with professional camera gears is not going to give you the results that you want. So some people, they spend thousands of dollars, like $1,000, $2,000, like small restaurants, they cannot even afford to pay like a couple $1,000s on just creating content, but they still do. And the results are shit, like no views, no nothing. So this is actually how you can solve. And your approach towards spending less money on creating content is like, you're right, but there's something that you're missing. So in scroll-based platform, I'm not talking about Google. So in scroll-based platform, which is TikTok or Instagram, there are only basically 2 things that you can do as a restaurant owner, because you're not e-commerce business. Like you can't do some complicated strategical things. There's only like 2 things that you can do in Instagram, which is like in a big pie, in a big category. There's organic content, creating videos and photos. Second one is paid ads. So paid ads is basically like running ads, boosting posts, right? So what it actually does is forcing the reach. Basically, you're actually putting those video contents or photo contents in front of people with money. So when you scroll Instagram or TikTok or you see stories, you see an ad every 3 to 4 contents that you see, sometimes 5, yeah, and even YouTube, right? You see all those ads. So that's not a weird thing. It's just what everybody does. So as I explained, once you spend money, once you start spending money on ads, so what Facebook or Instagram does is basically putting your content in front of people that you are trying to reach or trying to target. So if you see that content creation, if you see the social media game as in these two categories, you gotta spend money on both in order to get results. So you need to spend money on creating content for sure, and also at the same time you need to spend money on paid ads. So now the question, if you have to spend money on both of those contents, on both of those categories, now the question becomes, how much are you going to spend on which category? If creating high quality video contents or photo contents is not going to get you views, it's not going to get you attention, right? It might help you, like if your goal is to just make your Instagram look nice, like look premium, if your goal is just to brand your Instagram, go ahead, like hire a photographer, hire high-end photographer, just get some like premium good looking photos and just post it, everything. Your Instagram is going to look great, your account is going to look great. But if your goal is basically getting reach, right, showing your content, your account to maximum number of people in your community, in your area, that's not the method that you should go. That's not the way you should go. It's a different method, it's a different strategy. So what you need to do is basically minimize the money that you spend on content and actually increase the amount of money that you have to spend on paid ads, because you're actually, again, you're forcing those contents you're putting those content in front of people. So now what matters is what kind of content you're going to create. If you're spending money to put contents in front of people, now the question is, like, what kind of contents are you going to create? What kind of contents are you going to force to be put in front of people, right? And if you actually reverse engineer, if you think about your experience, when you're on social media, if you scroll and you see an ad, once you see the label that says sponsored, you just scroll it away, right? You don't even bother to look at it. So like that's the biggest characteristic of ads. So in order for you, like if you really, really want people to watch your ads, you need to create a content that's worth watching, even though it's an ad, even though they know it's an ad. So how many times actually like do you have an experience of scrolling and then you see an ad and that's actually like something that you want to watch? For me, it happens a lot of times, but most people don't. And it happens sometimes. And if you're a restaurant owner that you want to reach people and you want people to look at your content, the smart move would be spending money on ads, force the contents to put in front of people, and you actually want to create a content that makes people watch even though they know it's an ad. That's the most important approach. Like that is the right approach when it comes to social media scroll-based platforms. So even though you spend the same amount of money on content, on organic content, it's not about creating high quality content. Even though you spend the same $500 on creating content, it's not about creating high quality. It's not creating about like 4K or like good looking lighting. Your food has to look good. It's not about that. It's about how are you going to create a content that like grab people's attention. Like that's the most important metrics that you need to follow. And how do you actually go viral? Like how do you actually grab people's attention? My personal experience of helping my clients grow their Instagram and also at the same time growing my TikTok account, which I was able to grow like 6,000-7,000 followers within just a month, is basically two ways. Like one way is basically just getting lucky, just post a lot of videos, a lot of photos, and just hoping one of them to just go viral and you learn from there. Or you just take what's already viral and just rescript that, reformat it to your own story, right? So you see a lot of TikTok contents that are viral. You just take the same thing, rescript it, reformat it like the way you would do in your own business, and then post it. And then you do the same thing over and over and over and again. You will increase the probability of going viral and grabbing people's attention. That's how some of my clients who spend more than $10,000 on paid ads on their account, that's how they increase their followers. That's how they ultimately grow their audience. And that's how ultimately these accounts are successful grabbing people's attention and successfully getting more reach, right? Getting more higher volume of reach in their community, in the city. And that's how they do it. It's about creating attention grabbing content. It's not about high quality contents. So when it comes to practical world of creating content, it has to be like, if you're not experienced in content creation world, it might be kind of overwhelming. Honestly, it is very overwhelming. There's too much work. As a chef who owns a video agency, I can tell you there is a way of saving money on creating content, right? So basically, see this thing in this way. So there are 3 people that you need in order to create a content. So this whole content creation process, you need 3 people. One person can do it all, and that can be you, or that can be one of your staff, right? So I would say not 3 people, there are 3 parts parts in content creation. One is a videographer, right, who's taking videos. The second part is editing, obviously. Third part is getting those contents and uploading on social media. The thing that you have to realize is that out of those three steps, which one is going to cost the most? Which one actually needs someone to be in your store? And obviously, that's a videographer. Editor can work anywhere. Like you can stay in US and your editor can stay in Africa or in Southeast Asia. Who cares? As long as he gets the job done, it doesn't really matter where he is. As long as he gets the videos on file on the Google Drive or the cloud, as long as he have access to those video files, he can edit anywhere in the world. At the same time, the person who uploads the files on social media, the social media manager, we call them social media manager, they can be anywhere too. They don't have to be in your restaurant. They don't have to be in the office, right? They don't have to be in your office to do the job for a restaurant perspective. So the only person that you need in your store is a videographer. So this is how I optimize my expenses when it comes to creating content. This is how I actually save huge amount of cost when it comes to creating content and keep the quality and actually lower the cost, which I divide this into these three steps. So taking video, editing, and uploading. So person who actually I need in my store, I would hire someone when it comes to when you're in the beginning step, like for restaurants, I would hire freelancers, as I mentioned, who's already working in the professional industry or who has pretty much good experience, and pay them higher than they usually get from their companies. So if you're getting $20 or $25 an hour from their company, from their full-time job, find someone like that and hire them for like $30 an hour or $40 an hour. You can even pay them double, $50 an hour. Get them to come to your restaurant once bi-weekly, shoot for 4 hours, that's like $200. And you get them to come twice in your restaurant, that's $400 only. And once you hire an editor, like who's working in the Philippines, working in Vietnam, working in like India, if you actually, you look at like Upwork, onlinejobs.ph, like those kind of freelance websites, you can hire someone who can edit your videos professionally, high quality, for like $10 per project. So you can get them to edit bunch of your videos for like less than $100 or even like $150. So like $400, let's say you spend $100 on editing, and you can actually upload all those things, or you can get someone to upload those files to your social media. So basically you need someone who has access to your accounts. You hire that social media manager to do the job for you. It costs like $50. So basically you're running that whole system for under $600, like $500, $550. You're running the whole system. You're posting every single day, creating high quality content because the videographer that you hired is a professional. That's how you optimize the cost of the content creation. Right, and that is like one of the system that we also run, and we put a markup and sell to our clients. So people who cannot have the system has to buy a marked up price from video agencies like mine. Like not only mine, there are video agencies out there. So many video agencies, marketing agencies out there. They're basically having this kind of cheaper system, cost reduced system, and they're just paying for a marked up price. That's what they're paying for, the marketing agency or a video agency. Actually, you don't really want to hire video agencies or marketing agencies and pay them like a couple $1,000 every single month. You don't even have a budget. And the realistic solution for restaurants to run their own social media every single day, like post organically every single day and invest some money on paid ads, is basically having this kind of system, content creation system in the company, reducing the labor cost by hiring someone who's working online, like remote, and increasing the pay that you would pay to a videographer, the on-site labor, and then make them feel good. I think that's like one of the best way to actually optimize your cost when it comes to content creation. My personal recommendation is to actually hire all of them, different people. Just hire everyone different, because a lot of people who are in the food industry, like we don't really get to experience other industries, right? What mostly happens in other industries is the same thing. It's like cooking. If you're a cook, if you're a chef, like culinary artist, like culinary chef, you don't really get to experience a lot of things from pastry or bakeries. So there's a reason why there's a pastry chef who's not really a culinary chef. He wouldn't really work in a hotline if he's a pastry chef. So same thing goes to a hotline chef. He wouldn't really have an experience in pastry chef. Other industries are also the same thing. So for the video business, for those marketing, content creation, video industries is also the same concept. So people who take videos, most likely their editing skills not that great. And people who edit, those professional editors, they're most likely are not good videographers. So there's a reason reason why in big production team, there's a videographer, there's a video director, videographer, editor, and there's a producer. They're all different roles. There's a reason for that. Only freelancers who work on different small little projects, they get to do everything. It's the exact same. It's exact same concept as you go to a small restaurant, you get to learn everything. You go to bigger corporate restaurants, you only get to do one thing. Like that's the whole thing. That's the whole concept. So as long as you can manage these 3 steps, and I think most of the time, if you're a chef or if you're a restaurant owner, most of the time it would be a lot easier because you're already used to managing a whole lot of different people in the kitchen or in your team. So what's the big deal of hiring 3 different people who are not even working full time for you? Just like even the videographer is like coming 2 times a month in your restaurant, and an online editor, if he does a bad job, just fire him and get a new one online. Who cares? It's like $10 job. And also social media manager, all he does is just basically get the files from Google Drive or Cloud Drive and get them, put it in the Excel sheet and upload it, schedule it. Takes 1 hour. You're basically managing one person who works 1 hour a month, and probably like the editor's 20 hours a month and 4 hours of labor, the videographer, a month. You're not really managing that much, and you're running the system for under like $600. I think that's a killer deal, right? I think that's how you should manage your social media as a restaurant. I think it's a realistic solution for restaurant owners. And this is how I actually, consult my clients. And we first provide them services with this kind of service. We provide them content, planning. We give them the service, and at the end, we recommend them to reduce the cost by implementing this system into their business so that they can reduce their costs and increase the amount of the money that they can put into their paid ads. And a lot of restaurants actually saw success in this method, not even like result wise. Like a lot of restaurants, my clients got to save a lot of cost when it comes to marketing expenses. And I think that's how most restaurants with with low budget should approach social media in this kind of way. Real quick, guys, if you're enjoying this podcast, I don't run any ads on this. I don't sell anything. So the only ads that I have is that help me spread the words so that we can help more chefs monetize their skills online, make more money, and have their own successful restaurants. The only way we do that is we rate, review, and share this podcast. If you find this podcast valuable, leave a review. It takes 5 seconds, and most importantly, it may change the world for the better.